Welcome to this week's edition of Ask the Gov. Our first question comes from Ruth via Facebook. Ruth states, I'm waiting for action on property taxes. My taxes continue to go up. This year, I'm very hopeful we're going to see action. The House of Representatives has already passed our comprehensive property tax reform bill, which would, over the next 8 years, reduce commercial and industrial property taxes from 100% of market value, and that's the only class of property, the only classes that are at 100% of market value, to 60%. It also limits what can happen to residential and agricultural property. Now, because residential and agriculture are tied together, and agriculture commodity prices have gone up so dramatically over the last 5 years, with our agriculture property being valued based on productivity, looking at a 5-year rolling average on corn and soybeans, we're going to see dramatic increases over the next several years in those classes of property. The bill that has passed the House, our comprehensive property tax reform bill, would save property taxpayers, residential property taxes payers, over $600 million over the next 6 years. It would also save residential, it would save, in addition to saving residential taxpayers, it saves agriculture property taxpayers, and it would dramatically reduce commercial and industrial taxes. And it also protects local governments, their revenues. The state does provide a reimbursement system, and it protects local revenues as well. We know this is a complicated issue. It's very important that action be taken. The legislature has failed to act in the last 30 years on this issue. It's at the top of my priority list, and I'm very pleased that the House of Representatives have taken action. We are now working with the Senate. Some of the Democratic senators want to increase the earned income tax credit. We've indicated a willingness, if they pass our permanent property tax reform and reduction legislation, that we would be willing to accept increasing the earned income tax credit as part of that package. So I'm very hopeful before this session's over, we will finally see action to really reform and reduce the property tax burden in Iowa. The second question comes from Tristan via Facebook. Tristan says, what can we do to save the Price Lab School in Cedar Falls? Ben Allen, who is the president of the University of Northern Iowa, feels there's a better way to prepare teachers for the future, working with local school districts around the state, and that the costs of maintaining the Price Lab School are just really prohibitive. And so he's come up with a whole new strategic plan for teacher preparation, and I believe that the Board of Regents has already approved his recommendations, and that we should support this new approach and give the University of Northern Iowa President Ben Allen an opportunity to demonstrate how we can improve teacher education in our state. Finally, our third question comes from Bruce in Dubuque. Bruce asks, do you think the bottle bill is going anywhere? A lot of people in Dubuque buy bottles and cans in Illinois but redeem them in Iowa. Well, this is inappropriate because Iowa does have a deposit law, and Iowa cans and bottles can be redeemed and get the 5-cent deposit. Illinois doesn't have the law, so it's really inappropriate and violation of the law to redeem bottles from other states. Iowa has had the bottle bill since 1978. It's been very effective in reducing litter in our parks and on our streets and highways in the state of Iowa. I think the vast majority of Iowans support it. I don't expect there's going to be any changes in the bottle bill during this session of the legislature. There have been various things recommended, but it appears that none of them passed out of committee to meet the deadline of the funnel, and consequently it appears that there's not likely to be any action taken. I think that we are fortunate that Iowa has a much higher percentage of our cans and bottles recycled than any other state in the country.